Hello, welcome to Yellow Door Urban Homestead. I am Asia and I'm an urban gardener growing in a small space in my backyard. Today I'm going to do a bonus garden tour. I am off today. Happy Veterans Day to everyone who has served our country. Your service is greatly appreciated. Also I want to say thank you to everyone who sent their well wishes for my children to get better. They are both better. One went back to work Wednesday, the other one went back to school on Wednesday, and so we are finally out of the flu woods. So it is November and the garden is looking really good, y'all. Like, it's looking really good. And these plants in this bed, I've always said, like, this is my favorite bed. It was my favorite bed in the summer. It's my favorite bed in the fall. Like, it just always does really well. I am trying to wait for my first frost, but it's taking forever. And these plants are huge. And so we should have our first frost sometime next week. And if that happens, I will be immediately harvesting the leaves on these plants. Anywho, like I said, it's just like right in the background and I just love the way it looks. Well, we're gonna do a quick garden tour. So let's start with this first bed right here. The snapdragons are looking beautiful. I did not start these snapdragons from seed. I normally start my plants from seed, but if you've been here for a while, you know I got like completely burned out this summer with the gardening. So I bought these from our local feed and seed store, and they are looking beautiful. Snapdragons are cool weather plants, and so they will continue to grow for a good little while in zone 7B. I actually had snapdragons that I planted maybe 2021, and they grew all the way through the summer of 2022. So in zone 7B, snapdragons can last for a good little while. They do slow down a little bit in the summer because it's so hot. Mine was in the flower bed over there and at the end, so they were a little shaded, but they stayed in the garden for quite some time. Beside the snapdragons, we have rutabaga. If you were here for a while, you know I struggled to get these to germinate, but they are looking amazing now. Look right there. So that's one nice size one right there. There's another one on the other side. I can't see it from here. So pretty excited. I do love to eat rutabaga. The cabbages down here, a little bit shaded from the other things that's in the garden. But as I pull these rutabaga and the leaves, you know, come out, it will give more sun to those cabbages. So I'm not worried about it. And I have cabbages in other places, so I don't want all the cabbage to come ready at one time. Anyway, we have broccoli right here. These two looked like they were bolting, so well, trying to bolt. The broccoli head was opening, so I went ahead and pulled the broccoli head, and you can see their side shoots still coming in there. Don't pull your broccoli plants after you get your first big head because it will give you side shoots. And so we have broccoli coming in everywhere. These are broccoli plants back here too. There's one in the middle that is just struggling, and I guess because it's in the middle, it's not getting a lot of sun. But again, I won't pull it because at some point there's gonna be enough sun for it to grow. And there's another broccoli plant over there that has broccoli heads. Right behind it, we have broccoli rabe, and I harvested broccoli rabe off of this week, but there's more growing. So I do love broccoli rabe. It's a little bitter, more bitter than broccoli, but it's delicious. And then at the back, we have our Brussels sprouts. So they're being shaded by the broccoli rabe. My son comes from this way, and so I'm just gonna see what happens. They are a bit smaller, but if you look, there are little Brussels sprouts growing on these plants. That is the first bed. It's been raining. We are in the path of Nicole, and so all day it's been raining, sun, raining, sun. We are under a tornado watch, I think. Watch, warning. I don't know which one it is. Not like it's here and it's coming. It's the one that says it could come. So we're under that until like 3 o'clock. So anywho, I'm still out in the garden because I love being out here. So the other cinder block bed. So you see we have more Brussels sprouts popping up in there. I'm excited. Last year my chickens got to my Brussels sprouts and I didn't get one. So these are the Brussels sprout plants in the back. Right in front of them is broccoli, and we do have broccoli heads popping up on all of the plants at this point. Excited. And this is more broccoli. These are two different varieties, which I did not pay attention to this variety grows shorter than this variety. But it doesn't seem to be bothering it too much, so I'm not gonna worry about it. And we have broccoli heads coming in that one, and these two. And there's one on the other side over by the trellis as well. Not to forget the cilantro. That's doing really good. You can't really see it if I don't move things around, but we ate off of this to make street tacos the other night. They were delicious. And then we have some nasturtiums, which I don't think are gonna flower, but that's fine. I got a lot of beautiful nasturtiums in the summer. I do like nasturtiums. I eat nasturtiums. I think they're very beautiful flowers, and so I'll try to grow them whenever I can. Directly in front of the big broccoli is Swiss chard, which I think it's being shaded out a bit, but I will tell you, last year, or it might have been my first year, there was Swiss chard in this bed, and so all year it kind of got shaded. Once I pulled the other plants out during the summer, it grew really well, although I had to pull it pretty early because I had to plant other things. But I also now know that in spring, when I'm ready to plant other things, I can just transplant these. That's what I did last year, and it worked just fine. That one little sad cabbage back there still looks sad. I still didn't pull it. I don't see the point. I don't have anything to replace it with, so I'm just leaving it. It might surprise me. We have cabbage here, cabbage here. Everything is starting to turn into a head. This one is probably my hardest head right now. The rest of them are still working. And then you have the turnips, which we ate this week. I posted it over in the community section, but the turnips are looking amazing. So I'm just pulling them as they grow. Let me show you. We got a bunch in here. Pretty excited to have those turnips. I was successful in the early spring with turnips, and so I wanted more. This is actually the same place that I planted them in the early spring. So I know we talk about rotating plants. I don't really have space to rotate plants, and it seems to be working just fine right now. And so the carrots that we thinned out together are looking amazing. And if you look down in the bag, you can see the top of the carrots growing. Y'all, I am successfully finally growing carrots to the person, because I'm pretty sure it was on YouTube. Someone said, try growing them in bags, which I had not tried. To that person, I am eternally grateful for you leaving that comment, because this is my first time successfully growing carrots, and I am so excited. My daughter loves carrots, so she'll be excited too once they start to grow and we're able to eat them. There is the Vigo garden bed, which, let me tell you what I did. I started seeds. Well, I put seeds in that compost, and then I decided I don't feel like taking care of these seeds. Like, I don't want to take care of any other seeds. I really just want to put this stuff out here and grow. So I ordered onion plants from Haas Tools. They were $15.99, I think, and I got 50 onion plants, and so that's what's going to go in that bed. And also, we all know that I say I'm not going to grow in anything, like I'm not going to grow, it doesn't get enough sun, and then I'm going to be like, okay, I'm trying it. So of course I cannot fit 50 onion plants into this bed. I'm going to go ahead and plant the rest of the onions over there. Won't be a loss, because it's a loss if I don't plant them at all. It's possibly a win if I plant them and they actually do grow. So that's what I'm going to do with that bed over there. Has 2 basil plants in it now, but I'm going to pull those basil plants and then I'm going to plant my onions. The next bed is right across from the cinder block bed. Still has the trellis up, and there's still beans growing on this bean plant, and I'm still not pulling it because they're still growing. I harvest probably 5 or 6 off of that every day. Matter of fact, there goes one right there that could go. We have collards down here, and then we have kale. This is the kale plant that got eaten down, and I never pulled it, and it just grew right back. This is its counterpart, another one that did not get eaten down. So it's not far behind it, and so I'm fine with that. We have some Swiss chard back there also getting shaded a little bit. Beside that Swiss chard is more broccoli plants. I wanted way more broccoli this year, and this was one of the beds I said I'm not planting in because I don't think it gets enough sun. Thank goodness I was wrong. Thank goodness I took a chance, because now I have 6 additional broccoli plants. This broccoli plant, actually, I think it was a cat back here. So I came down here one day and it was broken and it was very limp. And instead of me throwing it in the compost pile, I just went ahead and replanted it and mounded the soil. And look at it, y'all. It's growing. So the leaves that look yellow and green and, you know, a little bit diseased, which I don't think is disease, are the ones that were very wilted when I found this plant. So I'm leaving it. I'll keep you updated on how that goes. But so these were planted much later than the ones that's in the garden bed. But if you look, we have broccoli starting to grow on these. Back here we have kohlrabi that is starting to bulb up. Also planted later than the rest of the kohlrabi. I got it from the local feed and seed store. The dahlias are still trying to grow. There's a lot of, you know, new sprouts on here. Look at this beauty. I mean, just beautiful. I'm leaving it and I'm gonna let it dry because I want to save the seeds. I've honestly never grown my dahlias from tubers. I've always grown my dahlias from seed, and it's how I prefer it. And it may be because that's how I started, but I just kind of prefer it that way. And there's more over here that's starting to grow. Those are the yellow ones. I think it's more like this one. These, I mean, they're so beautiful. I can't wait until next year because I'm going to plant way more dahlias. Down here, you have a calendula plant, and it was struggling, but it's trying to fight its way back. Another Swiss chard is down here, and that's a Swiss chard as well. So everything's looking good over here too. And here we have our wonderful greens bed. We have Swiss chard in this bed. We have collards in this bed. I think these right here are Georgia Southern, and at the end are the Morris Heading. But they're all looking beautiful. There are cilantro plants in here. There are nasturtium plants in here as well. And then you have the dinosaur kale in the front right here. And it's all looking amazing. Dinosaur kale, I never really successfully grew it until this year. It's looking amazing. I am so happy with that dinosaur kale. I actually like the way it tastes. Dinosaur kale is a good kale to make kale chips with if you eat those. I think because of the texture that it already has, I love dinosaur kale as a kale chip. The few leaves that I did grow did kale chips, and they were delicious. So that is that beautiful bed. And then the contrast of the blueberry bushes, which I found out the red on the blueberry bushes at this time of year is pretty much just fall hitting the leaves, in case you were wondering, but you probably already knew. Over here right behind the strawberries, these are 2 cabbages planted very late, and so they have no heads or anything, but the leaves and stuff look amazing. So I am cool with that, and they have a good amount of room. Right beside them are kohlrabi plants, and they are bulbing up very nicely. I can't wait to eat these. I do love kohlrabi. Beside the kohlrabi is feverfew that I have not cut yet. I keep saying that I need to get out here and cut it. And of course, the mint. And my daughter has recently taken to drinking mint tea. And so now I'm thinking I'm gonna have to harvest this and dry it. So I'll probably try to do that this weekend. Oh, guess what? I found a turkey butchering class workshop. I found a turkey butchering workshop, and I'm going to that tomorrow. If they let me record, I'm going to record. I am so excited. I have never butchered anything in my life, and I cannot wait. I cannot wait. And so we have the strawberries here, which we went through and we thinned this out very good a few weeks ago. No, probably a week ago. There are still some strawberries growing. I don't know what they will taste like, but there's still strawberries growing, still strawberries ripening. But we'll just wait these out until next spring. They will die back during the winter. Moving over to the bed right in front of the orchard area is Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, beautiful red Russian kale, curly kale. Perspective, this is one of the plants that got ate down and I left it. And it is not far behind the plants over here. Collards, that's the one that got eaten down. That is a little bit behind. That's a little bit behind. I gotta be honest with y'all. And then there's more cauliflower. In the front are radishes and beets. So the radishes are starting to come in. I'm excited to see them. I like them roasted. The beets still look the same, y'all. Look at those radishes though. Leave me some beet growing tips in the comments if you would like, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with them beets. So a spot that we rarely come to, but I will walk you through it since this is a garden tour. These are 2 rose bushes. These are knockout roses. I actually have one growing back there. wanted to make its appearance before the cold got here. Down here is a lavender plant that I've been saying it since last fall probably. I don't know I don't know how to prune these. You can leave me some information about that too if you like. But I am sure it's probably gonna end up dying because it's like super woody. And I hear they're very fickle. So I haven't done anything to it because I didn't want to kill it. I actually grew that plant from seed and I just want to do it correctly. I may need to move it also from in between these two rose bushes because in the summer, those rose bushes get pretty tall and pretty big. And so I don't think it's getting much sun. There's that raspberry bush that I'm going to move, or raspberry plant that I'm going to move because it's way too big when it gets like full size. Down here we have some parsley, oregano, comfrey, sage, parsley. What I want these herbs to do is to like encompass the tree and be shade cover. So that's why that's like that. You have some thyme right here that I did not pay good attention to, and so it had gotten really woody, so I cut it back down to the ground and it has started growing back again. So these were all grown from seed. Very proud of myself without that. Comfrey, oregano. This is marjoram, not grown from seed. Also won't be growing again. Don't know what to do with it. This is another thyme plant started this year from seed. The other one was started last year, I guess. This is rosemary that I started from a cutting from the store. This is a rosemary that I actually grew from seed. Excited. So, it's got to get its barren and stuff, but it's growing. The grapevine, I'm going to have to study this throughout the off season. I got a few grapes off of them. They were delicious, but not nearly as many as I was hoping for. This is a muscadine grapevine. There was a comfrey plant here. I think I watered too much over here. So the good thing is I have the comfrey plant over there that I can move over here anyway. And then there's more comfrey, sage, and then of course you can't forget the trees. So this is a peach tree. That's a peach tree. These are two apple trees. So you remember, this is the apple tree that had, I think, rust, or it had something on it. I never sprayed it or anything like that. I just cut off all of the diseased leaves and it came back, and most of the leaves look just fine. So, and it didn't spray it to anything else. Just a quick note of, I did not spray it. And last, not actually last, almost last. This is the flower bed. We have calendula that's starting to send up flower shoots. So that's exciting that they did flower. I wasn't expecting flowers till maybe spring, but our first frost, the date passed. And so things are still growing. It's another calendula. The chrysanthemums are even starting to bloom again, which I thought I had done something wrong, but I hadn't. It rained really hard today, so some of these snapdragons have been knocked over, but the snapdragons are looking absolutely beautiful. So that's what they are in the back. This hollyhock, I think I'm just gonna cut it back because it keeps trying to grow, but it's definitely not going to continue to grow. But yeah, my little snapdragons got knocked over in the rain today, but look how beautiful that is, y'all. I love those chrysanthemums. Beautiful. And then look at that big one that's actually flowered. Right, so let's walk on over here to look at these potatoes. So those are volunteer potatoes. Potatoes have volunteered in this tote a while ago, and I guess I didn't get them all. This is an old compost tote. Guess I didn't get them all, and so potatoes started growing again. I dug down into these this week, and they are actually growing. So I threw a little bit of leaves over them, and to kind of insulate a little bit on the cold nights, and they're still growing, and I'm still excited. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave me a comment in the comment box below. Don't forget to visit me over on Instagram at Miss MS Asia Spratly, where I post about the things going on in the garden just about every day. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.